Hello and welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Robert Shemin.
That's right.
Did I get it right? Good. Okay, I'm on my way to becoming rich. I got the name right. And he is author and has written a very interesting book, which frankly, how's that idiot rich and I'm not? I can't think of anybody who hasn't been sitting in a car or gone to some event and said to himself, if I'm so smart, how come that idiot's so rich? How did you come up with this title?
Well, Judith, we've all said it. We've all thought it. Whatever level you're at. When I was making, $6 an hour, I thought it. When I was making $200 an hour, I thought it. When I had a lot of money, I thought it. And I want to kind of reveal the secrets of what are these people doing. They're not the brightest bulbs in the tanning bed. I was voted most likely to fail.
I want to go to that. You have this theory, actually, and I want to explore that theory. Most of us read about people that get selected in their graduating class, most likely to succeed. You were kind of the guy that might have gotten the title least likely to succeed, and you have this theory that those folks that are least likely to succeed are the folks that turn up at 20th high school reunions having succeeded.
That's right.
Will you explain that to me and to our audience?
Well, Judith, I think we live in an upside-down world. I mean, look at all the stuff we're taught, we're brought up to do. I know I was brought up to go work for a company, be a good boy for 60 years. When you're 70 or something, you can retire, save a few pennies, have fun for a year or two, and then you die.
Get a gold watch or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
And I didn't like that plan. And we kind of live in an upside-down world. And we're brought up, most of us, to believe we're not rich, that there's not enough out there, that it's a secret club, that you have to have money to make money. And none of it's true. I thought that was true. And when I was about 26, 7 years old, I wasn't doing well at all. I met a gentleman. He never got out of high school, didn't have a computer. He was making about $100,000 a month from real estate investing and taking 6 months vacation a year. And I'm thinking, if this guy, who wasn't the brightest light bulb in the tanning bed, can do this, maybe I got a chance.
So you thought, how come he's doing it and I'm not?
Right.
But going back earlier, even when in your youth, you kind of had this unorthodox approach to your early years too.
Right.
I remember reading. Tell us the story. I thought it was cute when you were busboy, but you didn't call yourself busboy. What did you call yourself?
Right. Well, when I was 15, I moved out on my own. I started working as a busboy at Ruby Tuesdays, and I didn't like that title. It's not impressive.
Busboy.
So I made him make me an apron that said Table Maintenance Engineer.
Table maintenance engineer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got pride.
Right.
And I really liked the job. We worked on tips, and I realized that when you can control how much money you make. At most jobs, you can't. Right. So I made really good tips, and actually, I started making more than some of my teachers when I was 16. Right. Now that doesn't make any sense, does it?
Right.
Well,
I have to say, this show is called Getting Your Money's Worth, and I have to say there have been times that I've interviewed folks who are college counselors,
right.
And there's a certain theory coming up that maybe everybody doesn't need to be paying $250,000 to go to college for 4 years, and maybe there's another way to use that $250,000.
That's right.
What say you to that?
Judith, I've also thought that, all the money spent on education, if you take that $300,000 or $400,000 invested, they go retire and never have to work.
Yeah.
But they go spend on education. They get out of school with tremendous debt. Right. They're paying $2,000, $3,000 a month.
Not saying the parents themselves don't have tremendous debt from it.
That's right. They're already behind the 8 ball, and now they're stressed out. And that's another part about being rich. I think if you're stressed out, you can't be rich.
Okay, so for all those folks out there, and you call them rubs. What's a rub again?
Well, they're doing everything right, and they're upside down and broke.
And they're broke. It's like, I'm playing by the rules. So if I played by the rules and I went to a good college and I got good grades and I'm listening to you and I'm broke and you're not broke, though I have to say you got a good education at Emory, which is a very hard school to get into.
Right.
So what can I do to change, to go from being a rub to being a rich idiot?
Right.
Let's go through that because we want to give people their money's worth.
And I know people have heard before, but I believe it starts with belief. What's between the ears. You have to believe that you're wealthy. And a part of that is gratitude, and explained in the book. If you don't have gratitude for where you are now or what you have, I don't think you can ever be wealthy. And I'll give you an example, Judith. I have a friend who's worth $20 million. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And he
even in today's times.
He worries about money every day. He's stressed out. He's not rich. So it's not just about the money. It's about an attitude. And then, how do you treat yourself? How do you live?
Well, let's just go. So you have to have, in fact, I think you call it in your book, you have to think rich and act rich.
That's right.
Is that possible to do when you're not rich, Robert?
It's possible. It's not easy because I've been both places.
It's not easy.
Right.
If you're struggling to pay the bills,
right,
it's darn hard to think you're rich.
That's right. But a lot of it, I think there's a universal laws. There's an energy to money. There's a flow to it. And until you believe right, it's not going to work. Let me give you an example. I was broke. Some people say living paycheck to paycheck. I was going hour to hour. It was bad. And, what you focus on expands. So I focused all the time. I don't have money. I can't pay my bills. And that lasted for years.
It's almost like the poker player who sits down has to win.
That's right. And the moment I heard this stuff, I didn't believe it. And finally I tried it. I said, okay, the money's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
We'll give you that. You got to believe. Okay.
Yep.
I want you to turn me in. When this is over, I'll get my money's worth if you turn me into a rich idiot. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. I got to believe it myself. Done. Finished.
Right.
Next. What do I have to do next?
And when we say live rich, we're not saying go out and buy Rolexes you can't afford, but there's two markets out there, retail, full price, and wholesale. There's a wholesale market for everything. So you can live a little better, drive a nicer car, take nicer trips on probably the same money you're spending now. Same with real estate. You
would make an example. You talk about buying a used car instead of buying a new car.
I always drive really nice cars. As a matter of fact, I have a limousine I bought out of foreclosure for $11,000. And my driver drives me around, and when he's not driving me, we make money. So I actually get paid to have a limousine.
Good idea.
And we pull up to people and they go, Robert's riding on a limousine. That must be it's a $90,000 limo. It's a couple years old.
Actually, it's making money for you when you're not in it.
Yeah.
Good
and I
idea.
go, how much is your car? Well, my Toyota's, $18,000. Well, my limo's cheaper.
Right.
And you can learn how to buy stuff correctly.
Learn how to buy correctly. Okay. So that's another piece of it.
Right. Let's get to the really making that good money part.
Let's get to the heart of the matter.
Yeah. The bottom line is the only real way to get wealthy, unless you're a CEO or maybe an anesthesiologist,
or you inherit or something,
is own assets.
Own assets, okay.
And we walk you through.
So how do you get to that point? If you don't have money, I think, what are assets? Real estate, we'll talk with real estate. That's most time.
There's basically three categories,
okay.
and you got to do one of them. I like to do all three.
Okay, so let's see if we can get through all three of them by going, briskly through them. So if you're broke or you're just, making ends meet, now you're going to tell me that I have the ability to go buy real estate? How am I going to do that?
Well, if you think you can't, then you can't. And if you think you can, you can.
Okay, I think I can. How?
Right. Now, number one, the first part of the book on the money part gets you in control of your debt. The whole problem right now, recession, doom, gloom, is people spent more than they were bringing in. If you're making $4,000 a month, you can't have a $3,000 mortgage.
Maybe they listened to you. They were broke and they got real estate. I hope you're not behind the subprime mortgage.
Absolutely not.
Robert.
If they would have followed these rules, we'd have no problems because it's the basic old rules of what's coming in. You got to spend less. Okay. And we show you how to get out of debt, the bad debt. There's also good debt.
So there's a way to buy money even if you don't have a lot of money. There's a way to use other people as partners who may have the money. Right. You may be the person who finds it. They may be the person who finances it. And really, is real estate a good thing to buy now?
I believe so. And just like stocks and bonds, I look for the long term. Americans look short term. They try to speculate. They get hurt. That's why I got a problem now.
So really, if you believe in the theory that money's made in the buy,
that's right.
I'm in retail. Money's made in the buy and not in the sell. You come from a retail family. This might be a good time to sniff out some real estate value.
There's always deals, but right now when everybody's selling, that's when you need to be buying a little more because there's deals right now, and we're seeing deals at 50 cents on the dollar in almost every market.
Yeah, and the one good thing about real estate, it's unlike a stock. The value may go up and it may go down, but one thing, it's not going to disappear.
That's right. And I have rent coming in, and that's much more than the mortgage.
So you talk about you have three properties in your asset class. The home you own.
Right, and two other investment properties.
And two other investment properties that pay rent. And you also, we're not going to do it today, but you detail how to crunch the numbers to see if they're going to pay. Okay, so that's the one asset class, real estate.
3 deals and you're done, real estate.
3 deals and you're done. Okay, so now I'm on to my next, or concurrently I'm doing the next, which is stocks and bonds.
Right.
Good time to do that too?
Always.
How am I going to do that? A few dollars every day?
Well, again, we're going to show you how to get your spending under control very quickly, how to raise cash from places you didn't know. And here's the point: is last week a lot of the people spent $89 at Starbucks. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and you take $89 and put it in the market and underperform the market over time. In 30 years, you're going to have over $1 million.
Right.
So what you got to do is start a systematic program. You don't have to figure out the market. You don't have to guess when's the best time to buy. Over long term,
you just have to do it conscientiously and diligently.
That's right.
And stick with it.
That's right. And start. And most people never start, or they start too late.
But you can't. But you don't start by picking a stock. You start by giving it to a
professional. That's right. Or a mutual fund that's well run, low expenses, and let the pros do it.
And let the pros do it.
See, smart people, and I used to be smart, try to figure it out. It's hard to do.
Smart people, you make a distinction about that in your book. And I like rich idiots know that they have to pay for certain things that they can't do, certain services that they cannot do as efficiently.
That's right. And it's all about getting rich as a team sport. See, people think they have to do it all themselves. I got to do the real estate myself, the stocks and bonds, my business myself. And my goal is to do very little. Let the pros do their job.
Right. And if you have to give them a piece of it, so what?
Yeah.
It's still more than not having a half the pie, or 3/4 quarters of the pie is better than no pie at all.
That's right. And a lot of people right now are deciding on no pie or negative pie.
Right. And thirdly, what's the third?
Is a business.
Start your own business.
Yeah, now that's not for everybody.
That's not for everybody.
Right. But a lot of people, if they want to, and we show you how to take what you love and turn it into a business. Because if you don't love what you're doing, it's not going to work. Right. Or, you might make money. But
you have to have enough cash or enough wherewithal to give you staying power in your own business. You can't expect to start it and hit a home run right away.
We tell everyone to start part-time, and there's tons of business out there you can start for less than $100. We're not talking about spending $100,000 on a franchise.
It's much easier today because you can go on the internet and get a plan for a decent business plan. You don't have to spend a lot of money to start your own business, and you can start it in your spare time.
That's right.
In fact, I was very surprised, and we have only a couple of minutes left, and I want to touch on it, that you make mention in your book about how much money can be made in the virtual world.
That's right.
That really surprised me.
And I didn't know that at all, and I learned about a year or two ago. You got to be flexible.
Property.
Right. There's people making millions of dollars.
Isn't that like playing Monopoly?
It is. I don't understand it, but I don't need to. It's making money.
Right.
But what other people do is they analyze, well, that doesn't make any sense to me. Well, it doesn't matter. It makes you money.
Well, I have to say, looking at you, Robert, you're tan, you're well-dressed. I mean, if that's what it looks like to be a rich idiot, God, please. I read your book. I have to say, I had it with me. I read your book. I enjoyed your book. And I learned from it.
Thanks.
I learned from it. So,
and the part about being a rich idiot is if you got to do what you love to do, and also be grateful for what you have.
And I think the word idiot there is something there in the word idiot, because the implication is that if you're always thinking about playing by the rules and you're always planning, and you're not taking some risk and doing it, your chances of getting rich are slim, much slimmer, right? So for all of our folks out there that aren't idiots, I recommend that you read your book and become a rich idiot, right?
And the goal is you get it, you do what's in there, and people look at you, and they'll say, hey, how come that idiot's rich and I'm not?
Right,
that's the goal.
And they'll become that person. Thank you for being on the show. It was a pleasure to have you.
Enjoy it all.
Thank you for watching.